about the Chanel Metier d'Art show that took place last Friday, Thursday, Friday, in Manchester, UK, in England. And I gave you this time last week in the last show, I gave you kind of an overview of what the Metier d'Art is, why it's kind of like a fun and an important collection or collections outside of the normal seasonal collections that we see out that come out from the House of Chanel. And so it was live, it was on the streets of Manchester. And really, the when just to kind of, for those of you that maybe hadn't had a chance to watch the show last week, when I kind of showed and went through like an overview of what Chanel's métier d'art means. It is kind of like little hands, and kind of artists and artisans working with different textiles, different elements, whether it be hardware, jewelry, feathers, pleating, very, very specific veins, so to speak, that all come together to do this beautiful show. So it was instituted by Karl Lagerfeld. I want to say, I think it was like 1984. It was like in the 80s when he instituted this additional show. And really, it was meant to show, again, that craftsmanship of the different specialists within the couture space that are part of Chanel. So we've got Lesage, who elaborates on the embroidery. I shared that last week. Le Marie does the feather work. Montex does the embroideries as well. Goussins does the jewelry. And the Barry and Scottish do cashmere knits. So this year, the vibe for Metier d'Art was concentrated on, and this is one of the reasons why it was also placed in Manchester, was because it was kind of hearkening back and kind of recognizing what it was to be living in the Manchester area in like the 80s and 90s. So you kind of have looks that kind of give an overview of what it was to be kind of in working class, like going to work every day, what you would wear. They also had some layering in of maybe prowess from the football. Everyone, if you're familiar with soccer at all, what they call football over there, Manchester United is probably the most celebrated football club in England. So Manchester was one. They've got a great kind of clubbing scene going on, too, in the 80s and 90s. So harkening back to that. But another connection for the creative director of Chanel, who is Virginie, trying to get the French there, Virginie Viard. She also, like her, and I didn't actually know this, but her dad was with, oh my gosh, I can't remember which designer it was. But they were tied to her dad, and his career was tied to the textile industry in England. And so she wanted to kind of take a historical look at celebrating the textiles, because a lot of people don't know this, but tweed was actually invented in England, that look. So this really came out of the mills from the 19th century, when we were getting into like massive production of textiles and parts and all sorts of things, which was really leading into the Industrial Revolution. So anyway, Virginie, she did a throwback, again looking at working class. So I said 80s and 90s, but she actually went as far back as the 60s. So 60s to 80s, or 60s to 90s pop culture. So we'll see kind of fringes, bare legs, and like suits, your kind of traditional Chanel looks. She also has variations on the tweed. So you've got A-line minis, knee length, cycles under the coats, things like that. And then also a nod to new wave, which is the music scene that we definitely had in the 80s. So there was new wave music, there was the romantic era, And so that's where you have kind of like, bands like one of my favorite bands, if you know me, is Duran Duran, definitely in that space, kind of looking to see, what women wore to the club back then, and like kind of that edgy, like patent leather, baby doll dresses, things like that, safety pins, all that. So let's go ahead and look at our Metier d'Art. Let me see if I can find. Oh, yeah, you know what? I got to switch screens here. There we go. Okay. So I just want to give a little review of the pieces. There, and we're not going to go through every single look because there's 72 of them, right? So we're not going to be doing all of that, but I wanted to provide you with an overview of kind of what my thoughts are, just kind of as we skim through them. So this is definitely right. This first look number one, is that homage to that kind of 60s look. Here we are embracing the tweed. Let me see if I can bring up my screen so we can see a little bit better here. I may want to zoom in here a little bit. But when we're looking at Metier d'Art, so we see kind of elements here of jewelry. So you see the classic double C Chanel, this really kind of bejeweled belt, matching jewelry, really fun accents, right? So that's kind of look number one. Let's see what else we have. These are very traditional Chanel looks with the tweed suit. You've got the beautiful jacket coupled with the skirt. That was Coco all the way. This is a nice one where we have kind of an overcoat jacket that's a little bit longer than the skirt. It may be a dress underneath, actually. I think this is a really, really pretty color right here. And so over here, if we zoom in, we see right here the camellia, which was Coco Chanel's most favorite flower. But beautiful, beautiful, beautiful light lilac color. And then we've got the, it's kind of flanked with this nice knit. So that's a cool look. I love this color. I think this is so, so pretty. And I like how we have the stripe effect. And we've got, I think, it's tweed, but let me just see. Are they trying to do a little houndstooth moment in there? Or is it just a shimmer? I'm looking kind of at, oops, like right here. It just, I don't know, it gives me a little bit of a houndstooth moment, which is pretty cool. I'm not sure if that's what it is or if it's actual the glare of the camera. But here's another gorgeous piece. I love this ensemble. This is one of my favorite looks. It's classic, but I like that we have just a little bit of exposure on the collar with some pink, and then a little bit of a splash of the pink here on the sleeves. We have a crop sleeve that has a slight bow to it. And then we've got this really, really cool textured hat. And then it's got the houndstooth camellia on it. Fun look there. Other beautiful, rich textures. And, again, taking a look at what we're seeing here in hardware and accessories. Oops. Bracelet moment there. And then down here, look at this. Okay, so I think this is really, really pretty. It is a variation of the Chanel classic flap handbag. I think, this may be slightly, I don't think this is medium. I think this is one size smaller than medium. But if you look closely, you see this gorgeous ombre effect. So it's a little bit darker on the edges. And then as you go in, then it's getting into kind of that lighter, it's still a rich pink to go with what we're seeing in the tweed outfit, that overcoat and that dress moment. But that ombre, ooh, I know when this gets released for sale in the new year, this handbag is probably going to fly out the door. I love that ombre. That looks really, really good. So that's definitely a fun one. Let's see what else we have here. Again, traditional kind of Chanel look. Here we have 4 pockets going on with the jacket, and we've got great accents of jewelry. And not sure if you can see maybe the top of her foot here. But the shoes, for the most part, for these looks that the ladies are wearing, the models are wearing, are all the same. They're ballet flats, but then they have kind of an adornment across the strap that has probably different like Chanel-esque kind of elements. It's a little bit too far away to see what exactly they're working with. Love this mustard color. I think that's really pretty, a little bit different. And again, you see what they're doing with the pairing of the jewelry. They've got the bracelets, we've got the belt moment, we've got the choker. That choker is definitely a throwback to the 90s, right? We were all wearing our chokers then. Again, very traditional style. I really like this look too. We've got a really cool moment with the shoulder. We have a couple of camellias going on, playing with different textures. Let's zoom in a little bit more. Yeah, look at that. And a rich color. I really, really like this color. Handbag, always got to love the Chanel handbags. You guys know I'm a handbag nut, but the look is really rich. I enjoy this, and I can see what Virginie was doing when she, kind of got the concept down for that 60s, 60s and 70s look. Here's another interesting interpretation of that. Interesting color. Again, we've got the jewelry. Ooh, let's look at the handbag here. I just like looking at the handbags. Oops. There we go. Okay, so it's in the shape. I'm not exactly sure what the shape is supposed to be, if it's supposed to be kind of like a small jewelry box or something. But if you look in, it's got like a little tea set, a little tea or coffee set, the number 5, Chanel number 5. So that is going to be a cool little handbag trinket that I'm sure a lot of ladies are going to be going gaga over when these are released. Here's another look here, kind of exaggerated shoulder. Ooh, let's go back. This look I really like. I am digging that knit. This looks like a cashmere. And look how we've got that split, that separation from the sleeve. Like it's like a cape moment built into a cardigan, but not really. It's just, I absolutely love, love, love that piece. Love the plaid skirt. Again, we've got the pearl-esque jewelry. With here we got big earrings, statement earrings, the choker, and then the arm pieces are bracelets. And these are the same shoes that I was telling you about before. A plus, love that look. I love this look too. I think this is just darling. It's just gorgeous. The model wears it well. Again, we've got this kind of dark color in the browns, the rich, deep, deep, deep cognac. I mean, it really does embody kind of what like the vibe for Manchester is. A lot, if you know me, you may know this, but a lot of people may not realize too that I actually lived in England for a little bit. My first husband is British, and I lived in the north of England, and I lived in the country, but the closest city was Leeds, but technically we were actually smack between Leeds and Manchester. And if you spend any time outside of London, because London is pretty current, pretty modern, but if you go to other cities in England, it's like you've taken a step back in time. The entire time I was in England, I felt like I was living in the 60s because everything looks like, after the Cold War, like time stopped. They still have military time over there. You can't figure out what time of day it is, but it's like England is just so like, I don't want to say drab, but it's just very, put your head down and, stiff upper lip, and you just kind of like, it's very it's not America, let's just say that. So when I see these designs, I can see the inspiration for like Manchester, working class to tweed suits. I mean, this is how it looks, seriously. Here we have another moment where we've got some kind of like crochet and embroidery put on. That's pretty fun. So here's where I think we start kind of moving into kind of our like new wave looks, kind of 80s, because we're incorporating some leathers. Here we've got a beautiful quilted leather here. I'm wondering, that looks like lambskin, and it actually does look like yeah, the quilt is giving the vibe of the Chanel classic flap for sure. Oh my gosh, I bet that is just buttery soft. I love this entire look. You know, we've got the juxtaposition of the shiny black with the traditional tweeds again, in terms of the sweater underneath. Texture, just really, really gorgeous. And the lining, look, you see a little bit of that lining popping up, pulling in the red. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I would totally wear this outfit. Here's a kind of a fun moment with a broad shoulder, a little bit oversized jacket cardigan. Again, we've got the quilted lambskin. Looks like lambskin to me because it looks just like the lambskin purse and the skirt. Layering here, tweeds. Ooh, so we have funds with tweeds. So we're changing the scale, right? And I showed you last week we had kind of showing you the loom on how the tweeds are made. Um, just beautiful because one of the Metier d'Art houses, ateliers, they focus 100% just on tweed. So fun stuff. Okay, here we get a little bit more, a little edgier. Beautiful knits. This is really cute. I like this play of the black gray along with the lilac. That's a fun look. I love that. So we got a tartan knit dress and then a sleeveless cardigan with kind of an extended shoulder. And then look at the hardware. Oops. Yeah, I wanted to look at the hardware here. So cool, huh? Yeah, I love this. I love the look of the double bracelets that they've done in this show. So again, got our plaids going, all the textures. So really cute pieces. I think this is a cute look too. I love that handbag. Super cute. And I'm digging the hat. Like I want one of these hats. I'm not a big hat person. I have hats. I wear them. For me, I wear them like when I'm just like in the mood. But seeing that hat, like I'm inspired. I love it. That's a cool look too, that leather. So we're bringing in and playing in with different textures. And what's interesting is that like this look and this look doesn't really look like your traditional Chanel at all. So I like that Virginie is taking things in different direction. Same vibe here. Okay, so this is interesting. We're getting into denim. So we've got some denim shorts, but the look is all about the jacket. Let's do a little zoom in here. So we have um, almost like a tuxedo style, right? With the short panels that are layered one on top of the next. So that's interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about the coloring of this. I think it's an interesting color for denim. But I'm not really I don't think I'm really convinced by it. But it is an interesting look. So more denim, black. So I'm happy with that. I like black. I like my black clothing. This I think is cool. So this is kind of going, taking things a little bit extra. So we've got denim again, but we have these tiered ruffles. How many are there? One, two, three, four, five, six layers. And then you can see what I can't tell is I think they're playing with a layered look here with this part of the jacket because I don't think this is a separate piece underneath. I think it's all one piece, but it looks like it's layered. So I really like that. I think this is just a dramatic jacket, and I love the fact that it's denim. You would normally probably see something like this in a beautiful like cashmere wool or something like that because it would be able to hold that structure, especially the soft ruffles. But I love that they did this with denim. That's a lot of fun. There again plays on our plaids. Got some fun sunglasses, beautiful textures. Look at that eggplant color. And I again love how they've got it played up with the red and they've got the cool belt. And then let's look at this other purse right here. My eyes went like almost immediately there. Look at that. That is so, oh my God, that is so pretty. That ombre. Ah, I love, love, love that. I love this color. I love the pink one. You know, if I had to choose between the two, I don't know what color I would do, honestly. I have a purple Chanel purse already, so maybe I would do pink. But man, this purple is definitely singing to me for real. So let's see what else we have. So we've got a beautiful knit fuchsia dress, strapless dress, and scarf to match. Tweeds. That's kind of an interesting one. This is definitely that 80s club vibe right here, for sure. Yeah, here's another one. We got kind of a sheer mini dress, okay, covered with the this cardigan. So here is where we're seeing that football. So England's colors, flag wise, are red and white. But here, I think this is where you're seeing that kind of sports look, kind of getting into the Man U world. So that's pretty cool. Ooh, look at this bracelet. I like this bracelet. I saw one, I don't know if it was in the boutique earlier this year or last year, that I do regret not getting. It was something like this. It was, I think it was white and it may have been quilted. So I would love to have an accessory like that from Chanel. I don't have anything like that yet. So it's cool to see that on the runway. So here we go, kind of like, looking at different cities. Here we have Paris, Manchester, Coco, Showtime, the clubs, all sorts of like kind of graffiti writing from like maybe streetwear, which is a little bit interesting. Um, an interesting kind of look playing with houndstooth and stripes. Love the coloring there. Some more leathers. That's a fun look with the poof shoulders. And then we're kind of getting to our final looks. Let me see. Oh, that's her hair. I thought it was a little bit of fur, but it's actually her hair. That's a cute look too with the double C. Let me go back to that. The double C right here. That's pretty cute. Beautiful. So, okay, so this is a good example here of all, I mean, this is done by hand, okay? Look at the detail. All of these beads are like individually sewn on. All of these little elements, the little, the mini flowers, the coloring, the different textures, right? A lot of work definitely goes into these pieces. That's why Chanel is very expensive, particularly when you're getting these Metier dap pieces, right? So cool. Okay, so there you have it. So I will say, so I definitely enjoyed pieces from this collection, as you saw, me describe some of them. But I will say that compared to other Metier d'Art collections, this one was not as exciting for me. And I think it is because usually in Metier d'Art, that's where you see a lot of really cool different things that you just do not see coming out of Chanel. And I felt like a lot of the pieces that we saw, that they showcased last week, that you would actually see that in a normal season run. So I wanted something a little bit more daring and different. Were there cute pieces? Absolutely. But I've seen like more unique things, not only in terms of wardrobe, but also the accessories, the jewelry, and particularly the handbags. Usually, the handbags is where Metier d'Art shines. So I'm a little bit disappointed that we didn't really get to see things that were kind of almost like otherworldly. But you will see what happens next time, right? This was her vision. I think in line with what she was going for, channeling again the feels of like Manchester. I think she definitely captured that. And the pieces, do not get me wrong, again, are simply beautiful. But I think there was definitely an opportunity to do a little bit more. So there you have it. I would love to know what you think about the collection. That quick breeze through that I gave you. You can drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know if there are any pieces that you are going to be going after when they are available for sale next year. And yeah, what questions that you may have about the collection or Chanel. So make sure also that you click the like button, right? That helps me in the YouTube algorithm. Definitely subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And also share with those that you think may enjoy this content, right? That will enjoy talking about fashion and style. Okay.